Hi, welcome back to Mama's Telling Tales podcast. Today we're going to be reading one of my favorite stories and my kids' favorite stories, The Elves and the Shoemaker. This is based on a fairy tale by the Brothers Grimm. Okay, let's begin. Many years ago, there lived an honest shoemaker. His work was good, but hard times had left him desperately poor. "This is all the leather we have left," he told his wife one evening. "There is nothing else in my workshop." His wife sighed. The little piece of leather was only big enough to make one pair of shoes. The shoemaker cut out the leather and then went up to bed with a heavy heart. But when he came down the next morning, to his surprise, the leather had been made into a beautiful pair of shoes. "I'd never seen such tiny stitching," cried the shoemaker. "They are a masterpiece." The shoemaker and his wife placed the shoes in their shop window. It wasn't long before the shoes caught the eye of a very rich lady. She swept into the shop to try them on. "They fit perfectly," she beamed. "I have to have them." The shoemaker hugged his wife. The lady had given them 3 gold coins, twice the usual price. The lady was so thrilled with the shoes, she insisted on wearing them out of the shop. Everybody stopped to admire the elegant heels and the fine embroidery. The shoemaker used the gold coins to buy some more leather. Now he had enough leather to make 2 new pairs of shoes. That night, the shoemaker cut out all the pieces that he needed. "I shall make these in the morning," he smiled, climbing the stairs to bed. The shoemaker and his wife slept well, dreaming pleasant dreams for the first time in months. The next morning, the shoemaker and his wife were so thrilled to find 2 new pairs of shoes waiting for them. "The work is perfection," marveled the shoemaker. "Who could have done it?" Within minutes, a rich man had come in and paid handsomely for both pairs. Now the shoemaker had enough money to buy the leather for 4 pairs of shoes. That evening he sat by his candle cutting out the patterns, and as he worked he couldn't help but wonder what he would discover the next morning. The shoemaker wasn't disappointed. When he woke up the next day, 4 beautiful pairs of shoes were laid in a neat row upon his worktop. Now that word had got round the town, the shoes were sold in minutes. "We must find out who is helping us," the shoemaker told his wife. So the next evening, the shoemaker worked late, cutting out enough leather for even more pairs of shoes. This time, instead of going to bed afterwards, he and his wife hid at the back of the shop. At midnight, the shop door swung open, and 2 tiny elves skipped in, dressed in rags. They jumped on the table and opened their little green bags, and inside were tacks, needles, and thread. The elves sewed and hammered all night. The shoemaker and his wife gasped at the tiny people, stitched shoe after shoe. Each design was more eye-catching than the last. By sunrise, the work was done. The elves picked up their bags and bustled out of the shop. The shoemaker and his wife rubbed their eyes. "Those little elves have saved our shop," said the shoemaker. "We must find a way of thanking them." "The elves were dressed in rags," said his wife. "We shall make them each a brand new outfit." The shoemaker and his wife got to work straight away. It took all day to make their outfits, and by evening the shoemaker and his wife had made green jackets, trousers, undershirts, and little hats for the elves. They'd even stitched 2 miniature pairs of boots. "Everything must be perfect," said the shoemaker, laying the garments out on his worktop. The couple smiled, and then they hid at the back of their shop again. On the stroke of midnight, the shop door swung open just as it had the night before. The 2 elves skipped across the floor and then clambered on to the worktop. "What is this?" cried one of them, holding up a tiny shirt. The shoemaker and his wife smiled from their hiding place. "These are the finest clothes I ever seen," declared the other. The 2 elves pulled on the smart clothes. The little knitted socks, breeches, and jackets all fitted a treat. "Look at us!" laughed the elves, dancing out of the door. The kind elves kept on helping the shoemaker and his wife. Soon the shop was filled with elegant shoes in every style and color imaginable. Every night, the shoemaker cut out more leather for his little friends to stitch. But now he also laid out new shirts and sweaters to keep the elves warm and comfortable too. What wonderful friends we have, smiled the shoemaker. The shoe shop became famous all across the land. The shoemaker and his wife were rich for the rest of their days, always giving thanks for the night that the elves first came to visit. The end. Thanks so much for reading a story today. We hope to see you soon on our next book. Make sure to check out our new episodes that come out Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Bye.